A warm welcome to the second ARRI Asia Hour here in our media section of the ARRI Academy Creative Space in Hong Kong. Phun Ying Wong Lam Hai Hong Kong. I hope this was Cantonese. You may already know our creative space from a workshop you have attended at ARRI Asia. It was also a location 2 weeks ago for our first ARRI Asia Tech Talk about the ARRI LED with General Manager Bertrand Dufont. My name is Thomas Winsert. I was born in Germany, as you can easily discover, and now live in Hong Kong. I am an ARRI Asia Senior Project Engineer and Lighting Designer in our System Solution Department. Before we dive into our topic, we have the poll for you guys. We would love to know, where do you want to apply pixel mapping in the future? A simulated car chase scene, a virtual underwater scene, stage lighting for live show, or others. You can vote on the poll box and we will reveal the results after the presentation. Also, just like the previous ARRI Asia Hour, we will have a live Q&A session. Please post your question in the chat box. And just to make it more interesting, great questions will win these Skype panel USBs. So our ambassadors from all over Asia are with us again today to translate all your questions, so don't hold back. The topic we're going to talk about today is pixel mapping as a technique of kinetic or dynamic lighting. What can you expect from this event today? We will show you how to use ARRI lights in a specific pixel mapping control environment, how to adjust them, how to connect them, how to integrate them, and how to control them. But before we can continue, we should clear up two terms, because of both of them are mixed up quite often: pixel mapping and video mapping. In video mapping, you cover a line of wrapped video content onto objects using beam projection. The shape and orientation of these objects is often irregular. The projector picture output can be controlled in real time in order to fit the unique geometry of the surface. Quite a contrast to pixel mapping. In pixel mapping, we associate any kind of media content like sound, image, patterns, effect, video, or live camera onto an array, grid, or cluster of pixels in real world represented by lighting fixtures. These lighting fixtures can be single channel controlled like a tungsten dimmer combination, or single color LED, can be bicolor, RGB, RGB white, and any other multi-channel LED. Even old systems like fluorescence, neon, OLED can be controlled. But whatever we do, our target will be a low-resolution, self-luminous structure in relation to the high-density data of our media content. Just a brief summary. The fact that we can use video content does not turn pixel mapping into video mapping. These are still two different procedures. The majority of mapping software is able to handle both techniques, and this might be one of the reasons why these terms are often confused. You may ask, what do we need pixel mapping for? I'd like to divide the use of the technology in two fields. First field, pixel mapping can be used for lighting decoration, for example, stage backdrops, architecture facades, lighting fixture grids, moving light arrangements, and so on. Are these installations the look of a lighting fixture, or the lighting beam are our focus of interest? By the way, our Skype panel is a perfect tool for that. Because of its clear case design and smart front look, you can see a perfect example for mapping in our well-known video clip, Share the Passion, which is still available online. Second field of application, this technology is very interesting to control the lighting in movie-making production. We can create a realistic lighting look, especially in virtual scenes, something you normally can only achieve in real shoots or in post-production. With pixel mapping controlled lighting, you can reduce production times and production costs significantly. And in addition, you get an amazing tool to extend your creativity. Now, I will give you a brief overview about the components we use here in our little shooting set, how everything is set up and how the elements work together. We use the standard presentation equipment here in our academy space, a fixed ceiling-mounted, high-resolution video projector, and a wall-mounted flexible screen foil. And all ends up to a front projection setup, which is specific issues. There are a few other solutions which are more suitable for providing a proper background image, but their specification and applications is a topic for another tech talk. Just a note regarding the video content. In our setup, the player system for the high-resolution background video does not provide the content for the mapping software. It is in fact the same video, but to use it for the lighting control, it needs to be imported into the media library of the mapping software. There are two aspects to consider. You have to take care that you can start the videos on both systems in the same time, and it might be easier to handle downsized video files for lighting control. So I suggest to render out a low-resolution version because high-resolution videos are not necessary for pixel mapping. We place our actor later on directly in front of the screen and the camera behind him or her in a suitable position to shoot, say, a driver in a car view or biker on the road, both from the back. Now we're coming closer to the core of our tech talk, the ARRI Lights. We use here in our setting a mix of our new orbiter and a few members of the sky panel family, S60, S120, S360, all in C or color version. At this stage, I cannot avoid using a lot of technical terms like DMX, Ethernet, IP, ArcNet, luminaire radio, etc. To dig deeper into these terms today would take too long and go beyond the scope of this demonstration. Instead, I recommend joining the online lighting system control class run by the ARRI Academy and presented by Mr. Richard Gardena. Find it and enjoy. So, other lights here need the control infrastructure. I choose a complete wireless DMX solution using luminaire radio as a base and managed by a Skylink base station and Skylink receivers on each luminaire. To be fair, in a pure Ethernet ArcNet environment, you might have more possibilities for fixture adjustments, and for larger lighting setups, an IP network is highly recommended anyway. But there's an interesting argument for using Skylink system. With Skylink, you can use our lighting control app called Stellar that runs on tablets and smartphones and is available for iOS and Android. With Stellar, you can handle several basic light fixture adjustments, and you can also use it as a lighting controller in order to complete your lighting setting, positioning, focus. You can test the illumination from different positions with different colors, and you can also set up your camera equipment. So let's come back to the sky panel. Among the many implemented features and functions, there are a few operation modes which turn the sky panel into a perfect tool for pixel mapping. There are three things: the low-end mode, RGB white calibrated color, and the light engine mode. So what they are doing. The low-end mode provides a smooth dimming curve, especially in a very low intensity range, close to zero. This is the opposite to the default control mode, which can cause unwanted leaps in illumination during a fading process. Next is the RGB calibrated color. This mode ensures that all lights are located at the exact white point as our RGB color space. This will help match the light quality as accurately as possible to the video content. As an additional benefit, this mode gives sky panels a uniform appearance if they are used in a front view for background or decoration purpose. The next mode, and this might be the most interesting one, is the light engine mode. The sky panel light source is a cluster of more than 2,000 RGB-W, RGB white LEDs. All these LEDs are divided into separate units, which we call light engines. And the smallest unit is the base for the smallest sky panel, the S30. As you can see in the graphic, the S60 contains 2, the S124, and the S360 has 12 light engines. The crucial point is that light engine mode, each light engine gets its own DMX start address and can be controlled separately like an independent lighting fixture. Just to tell the story until the end, SkyPanel provides a few kinds of light engine modes. They are the CCT and RGB white. CCT is a white light section in the sky panel, and the RGBW is a color section, so red, green, white, red, green, blue, white. In addition, there is the HIS, which stands for hue, saturation, intensity. And not to forget XY coordinate, which allocate the light into an international defined color space. The graphic shows you how many DMX channels we need for each mode. You will find more DMX details in our ARRI DMX protocol specification in current version 4.4. For better understanding of this term, we have to talk about something called signal resolution. For each lighting fixture function, we need as minimum one single DMX channel. One DMX channel is specified with a signal resolution of 8-bit. 8-bit contain 255 different values, which means in practice that if you move your fader, you can only gain 255 different lighting steps. You will quickly understand that only 255 different lighting values would not be enough for a smooth, stepless light fade, as you see in video scenes. So how do we solve the problem? The solution is using 16-bit instead of 8-bit, which provides more than 65,000 values. To achieve this, each function needs 2 DMX channels combined. Of course, this will double the number of DMX channels you need. Let's come back to our lighting setup. I recommend it generally to create a calculation sheet to define all DMX addresses. You can see from my table the start and end addresses. You will see as well an additional channel for the cooling fan of the lighting fixture. You will see later on why I point this out. I will use for my further presentation and demonstration a pixel mapping software with name MadMapper by GarageCube, which is available for Windows and Mac OS. I have to make clear, this is not a MadMapper tutorial, we do not promote MadMapper, and it's not an ARRI solution. It just happens to be the first mapping software I had come across. I don't pretend that MadMapper is the best choice, because I simply don't know how the other products are working. So I use MadMapper just as an example to discuss procedures, workflows, and problems you may also be faced with other solutions. Let's move to the control table, where I'm running MadMapper for the lighting control on my laptop. I could run the movie player for the background projector on my laptop as well, but I would need to run 2 different applications at the same time. It's not really the performance problem, but starting the movie player and the related mapping preset really sync is a challenge I prefer not to have during my presentation right here. I'm pretty sure there are solutions out in the market with which you can run background and pixel mapping lighting control easily just from one platform by hardware, software, or by a dedicated media server. I will share with you the screen of my laptop. Let me sit down. And you can follow what I'm doing in MadMapper. I will divide the presentation part into sections. Firstly, I will show you some basic adjustments you will need for an integration of ARRI Lights. And then I will demonstrate a few examples of ARRI Lights and MadMapper in live action. So, this is the main window from MadMapper. I will show you now how to integrate the ARRI Lights in MadMapper. There are a few steps to do. You need a fixture definition for each type of luminaire in a way that MadMapper can understand the specification of the lighting fixture. You need to add all lights and to give them the right DMX start address. And finally, you have to arrange all lighting fixtures in your working space. Okay, so far. As first, we have to connect MadMapper with our lights. We open the DMX output from the menu Preferences, and we see the IP address of our external USB-C to Ethernet adapter. Make sure you enable the option ArtNet routed to USB LED devices and enable unicast. We see immediately the IP address of the ARRI Skylink base station, which you can find on the bottom of its case if MadMapper will not recognize that. In a plain Ethernet configuration, you would see all connected lighting fixtures with their IPs. Keep in mind the number of the DIMX universe you will need later on, because you have to use the same universe for the lights later. Next step, fixture definition. We open the fixture editor, and we will see there is no library for ARRI Lights yet. So we have to create our own. So I add a new one, name it as ARRI Sky Panel 360 Demo, because I will use the 360 as an example. First adjustment, this is a pixel width and the pixel height, which means the number of light engines in X and Y orientation. So in our case, we choose 4 by 3. Next, we choose the pixel type customs, because we want to set our own specifications. As next, pixel size. What means that? This is the amount of channels, DMX channels, we need to control our light engine, not the lighting fixture. As a result, you will see the new 16 channels in 8-bit. But we need 8 channels in 16-bit. So we have to pull down all the 8-bit channels down to 16-bit, and you will see we reduce the amount of channels. For a better overview, we name all channels according to their function. Dimmer, color temperature, green, magenta, fade, and red, green, blue, white. As next, we define the specific function of each channel. Every channel with no color control function we set as slider. And all color channel needed according to the colors RGB white. Now we have to define the first S360 fixture definition. To make it easy, I already imported my own library, which I already prepared. If anyone of you sent me an interesting question or a helpful comment, I will send him my library. Next step, I add a light, give a name, and choose the type from my library, in this case S360. Be aware to use the same universe as I already mentioned, and you will see there's already a start address given by MadMapper. You need to scroll down, and you see the 4 channels we already defined as sliders. They came up here. What they do? Bring the first is a dimmer on 100%. It makes the light visible, means on value 65,535. So what about the CCT? What value results in which color temperature? There's an Excel sheet called conversion calculator, in which you can calculate from the color temperature down to the DMX value. And here you see the color temperature and the value I recommend, daylight 5,600 Kelvin, with a value round about 25,000. So type it in. The green magenta adjustment we don't need to change, but the last one is the X fader in order to shift from the white CCT section to the RGB white section. I remind you, we run mode 25, CCT and RGB white. So we have to tell the light or MadMapper that we're not in a white mode, that we work in the RGB white mode. So I already add all sky panels to make it faster, and you see I run my demo project. But you see, all start addresses are given by MadMapper. 16 by 2 32. So the next is 33. But as I remember, we need additional channel for the cooling fan. This MatMapper cannot know. So if we would keep it like that, we would have an overlap in between the starting addresses. So we have to change every start address manually to give everyone a 1 plus, as I did here. So you see that I even added orbiter in our library, in our MatMapper. But I will not go into the details because orbiter is a new product and I need some more time to find the best way to integrate orbiter. So be reminded that orbiter works with 6 light channels and it's a little more complicated. Sorry. Whoop. So I will not talk about the other MatMapper basic routines like adding the medias, pictures and movies, or how to use the presets or a queue section. These are better tutorials in internet available. If you need to know more, please inform yourself. So now we come to the demonstration part. Sorry, I need to start my MatMapper again. So, what is pixel mapping? Let's come to the point back again. You see in the middle of the screen, this is the media space. This media space, you can easily add different kind of media. You see on the right side of the MatMapper, you have that generator part, you have the materials, you have pictures, you have videos. These are just the one I will use. So just by click, you see it in the preview, you can change easily the media background. You see that we have a red line symbols. These red line symbols are the representation by the lights we imported in that scene. So any light has its own symbol. And the nice thing is you can move the symbols. So the reference, it means you move the light over the content. You can adjust the size, position, orientation very easily. And this is, for me, one of the best features we have in that pixel mapping software. I create my own color palettes to demonstrate that better. So you have just pick a light and move that light over the content. And this is a basic function you have to deal in MatMapper or any other pixel mapping software. That you have a symbol and you bring it in connection with the background or with your media. This is additional color palette I all created this color palettes just easily in PowerPoint. If you need a specific color catalog for your movie, just create it, import it in MapMapper, and you will see you will easily connect that with your lights. The palette can, of course, contain a fade. For example, you need a fade from one color to the other. Take it over the entire light. Or just bring it on one point to control the entire light engine. So this feature gives you the opportunity to use MapMapper as a little lighting control board. Of course, it will not replace a perfect professional lighting console, but for easy adjustments, why not to use it that way? If you need, for example, a program running through your color palette, I did the same. I just programmed a lighting color palette in PowerPoint and make a movie from that. So how it works with the real video. This is just an example. We have, call it bubbles. The job is to adjust the light in a way that you get the best result. So, for example, you know that there's always one little bubble coming on that position. Just move the light on that position. The same. You can turn to match that with your light flow. See that? This is just a looping video, night facade in fast forward, and I connected the light positions in the video with my lights. You see here the moon moving, and these are all the light positions of my lights. So what we can do with it? I would divide the purpose of that pixel mapping in two different, directions. One is more that decoration part. What you do is not really related to any background. So use it as an effect machine to fake water, fire, and some structures, like I do here. But don't forget, it's not just adjustment in the MapMapper. It's even still a physical light setting part that you have to find the best position, not just in MapMapper, even physically. So just let's see how it looks in the camera if you move around the lights a little bit. You say, the others are blinding my scene, so let's take the Orbiter, the 360, 120. Or even the rail lights. So it doesn't mean that as more lights you control, as a better effect you have. I will just show you a few other effects just to show what is possible. This is a fire. Firework. Siren. Radar. And the spiral. Okay, the next part, this is, really that's what we want to do. We want to apply the lights to a running video content as we have in a real shoot with a green screen or a small cabin like in a train or in a car. Look at that. So you see, this is a kind of car driver view. Of course, in real, you would maybe not shoot the car driver from behind, but this will just show how this system can work. And of course, the contrast from the front projection is not really good enough to make a real shoot. So don't take it too seriously. We just use it as a module. So the job as well, you have to find what light match best for that. You see, for example, there's always lighting coming almost in the same position. So move the lights here. You don't have to cover the entire space of the video. You just pick out the lights and the effects you need. I really like to show that tunnel drives because you have a dark tunnel and just a few lights. So this is, I think, a very good example to show how it works. So I have a few of that tunnel solutions. Here again, just take one light and try to Of course, you have to adjust the position of the real lights after you define the position in the video. There's a fast version. More in slow. So of course we always drive in one direction. But I have the same video just in reverse. If the talent can turn around, if the talent could turn around, just look to the camera. Yeah. You see, now it's coming out of the screen. As far you see something in the projection. So now it comes a video I really like. Hong Kong. So let's do the same. Let's find positions for the light. See here would be the, can start again. So far, the live demonstration. Give me a second, I have to adjust the light again. Okay. We stop with that video. So let me move. So I'm back. I hope you enjoy the show. Before we start the Q&A session, let's have a look at the poll result from the. Oh, I have to change. Sorry. So many technique here. You will not believe. So what we have. Result. I see. The first one is simulated car chase scene with 33.3%, others with 12.5%, and stage lighting for live show with 16.7%. And the winner is a virtual underwater scene. Oh, so it's a good advice because I can consider with my new presentation to find some videos and adjustments for underwater. So Q&A. I have sorry a little bit. I have to read first the questions. Christian Noah. Should I mention the names? Okay, Christian Noah. Hello, Christian Noah. Will the white point be the same from the orbiter and the sky panel? The white point is something you can adjust. You can bring all lights on the white point. This is, of course, the main feature of that white point adjustment. So whatever you do, whatever lighting source, even just that's a little bit lighting theory, but you have to, or you can even have another light source. You want to combine your ARRI lights with that light source. And this has another white point, but you cannot change that white point. So bring all the lights on the white point from that additional light. Ari Gunnar, can we use MapMapper and Lighting Console in the same time? Of course. I mean, it's IP based, and you use, for example, different boards in the same IP environment anyway, so why not? And Freak is working with circular radial instead of red box or based on the red box. Can you write my email? I don't. So sorry, I don't understand what it means. How? Can you use Stellar for pixel mapping? No, you cannot. Not yet. I don't see any approach to do that. Because to do everything I did here on my computer just on the iPad, it would be, and not forget, it's not just sellers not just for iPad, even for smartphone. So I don't see a chance or maybe a reason to do that. Aki, can I use a 360 camera as reference? Yes, of course. I didn't show you. There's one part of MadMapper. You can add the live camera, even your FaceTime camera. You can add the USB camera, and of course any kind of camera, as long your computer can be connected with it. How much need PC power MadMapper? Not that much, I would say. No. The problem is, I mentioned that you shouldn't use high-resolution videos for as a source. So downsize the videos, and you will not have problem with RAM or with any kind of performance. Christian, you again, can MadMapper manipulate? Yeah, you can. Yeah. I didn't. That's what I told you. I cannot show any feature from MadMapper. There are a lot of adjustments. You can adjust the color afterwards. You can the speed, the loop, when it starts, when it ends. So there are a lot of really features in MadMapper. Do you have the fixture definitions for other lights, ARRI Lights too? Not yet. I have it for SkyPanel, and I did it for Orbiter, but for Orbiter it's not the best solution yet. But honestly, it's not a big deal to do it for L7, L5. It's very easy because they don't have different or more than one light engine, so you just have the color channels. It makes everything much easier. So, Kat, please tell us more about the Orbiter integration. Yeah, Orbiter integration. I did it last week to show you how it works, but I was not maybe good enough to do that. This problem is I can do, but I was not happy with that result. The light quality. You have 6 light engines, and it might be that MadMapper is not really. I don't know. I couldn't find the right adjustments, but I was not happy with the result. It works, but I was not happy. So, Kat, why are the SkyPanel looking so different in the Share the Passion video? Yeah, in the Share the Passion video, this was shoot before we launched the light engine mode. So they use every S60. They use only S60, as I guess, as a decoration light. Was only one light source, as one light engine. It was not divided in different light engines. Augustine, seems like MadMapper became gold standard for SkyPanel pixel mapping. Are there any other? Oh, yeah. Just type in Google pixel mapping software, and you need an entire afternoon to find all. There are a lot of solutions, more for architecture, media server solutions, and honestly, it was not my job to get an overview about all softwares. I just have one. I can show how the lights are working. My job is not to show how MadMapper is working. In the end, we talk about the lights. So can I use a USB camera as a source for pixel mapping? Yeah, I did. I already told you. Oh, no more questions?
Could you elaborate more about what some content you have taken away for this time using this?
Ooh, no, I don't know.
And can you show me more about the videos, the result of the lighting?
Yeah, but I can a little bit talk about the way to build up your infrastructure, your network. So I told you that I use complete wireless DMX solution, but this is just one from, I would say, 7, 8 different solutions. You can of course use MadMapper with a DMX controller. It means a USB to DMX. Bring it to the first light, daisy chain. You can use a splitter to split the DMX signal for each light separately. You can use, and this is maybe a nice feature, the hub or the adapter from Ethernet to USB. It's implemented in SkyPanel. So just connect the first light directly with Ethernet, and then daisy chain the lights with DMX. So the Sky panel will route the DMX signal through the Ethernet ARTnet back to the computer. How many universes MadMapper can support? Ooh, I don't know. I guess a lot. So as far as ARTnet, then I know how many ARTnet has. So other options, SACN, I think you can run with SACN. So I think this will not be a problem as long as you have the infrastructure which you connect all the lights. You connect camera. You could connect the camera and use the footage inside MadMapper. Yeah, this is an interesting point I didn't check. So you would ask why we have to import the videos in MadMapper and then start the MadMapper preset and the background video in the same time. Why not to take just to use the background and to use a camera to take the background and use it directly? From my point of view, it will work. It will work. It's a little bit more complicated to do it here because of that. It is the problem here with our contrast and front projection, but in a dark environment, I guess it will work. Can I mix HMI and LED together in pixel mapping? Yeah, as any kind of DMX controlled. I mean, what you can control with HMI and DMX, you can just have more or less a few percentage to dim down the HMI and you can switch off. So you just play with the brightness as a tungsten. And tungsten you have from 0 to 100%. This makes sense, but the HMI, yes, you can, but it will not make sense. ARRI Gunnar, since it has an IP base, can we control this ecosystem remotely, like from my home to studio? Good question. I would say you can control your desktop by remote, but I don't see. I couldn't find any feature. Maybe there are more specific questions, especially in MadMapper. We can contact MadMapper, Garage Cube. I'm in contact with them. Maybe they are out there, so they are invited. So I don't know. Yuji, translated by Risa. Although Skylink is not available in Japan, can we use MadMapper here? Yeah, so the Skylink is just one option. Honestly, it's the first time that I use Skylink. I just use it because it's so nice to move the lights around here and to play with MadMapper with Stella. But all my presentations before, I had a pure Ethernet connection. No, you don't need Skylink, or Ethernet DMX. So, but for that, Skylink is just an option. It's not a must. So, yeah, this comes. Wait, we have some more. Huh? Wait. So. Sorry for that, we have a little bit so many sources, cameras, laptops, and screens that sometimes. So yeah, I'm here. So I have to change the source. Sorry for that. No questions. So that's no. So that's all time we have for our today's ARRI Asia Hour. If your question was chosen, our marketing team will reach out to you shortly for your souvenirs. Thank you again to all our viewers for joining us, and of course to our ambassadors for helping with translation. We hope you have learned from and enjoyed today's live stream. Don't forget to follow us on ARRI Asia Instagram, ARRI Australia Instagram, and ARRI China WeChat. You can also message us there if you have more questions about pixel mapping. We have a great topic lined up for the next session, so stay tuned. So for the next ARRI Asia Hour. Thank you very much. Viele Grüße nach Deutschland. Goodbye. See you soon.